Piki, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. It's been a while since I've seen you. What have you been up to lately?
Well, you know, trying to stay healthy.
Okay.
You know, health is wealth.
Yes, it is.
And what we've been through, the country, the world, the last couple of years, you know, so we're trying to stay healthy and trying to stay, you know, counting our blessings.
Sure. You mean regarding the pandemic?
Pandemic, yeah. And other things that before the pandemic, you know, we had other issues, health issues, but
let's
thank God we're here.
Let's talk about the pandemic for a minute.
Sure.
You know, we're 2022 now. This has been about 2 years, right? Roughly.
Correct.
And how did it affect you in the very beginning?
We stayed pretty healthy at the beginning. Then in the middle, contacted it. So I ended up in the hospital.
Okay.
But I was there for 4 or 5 days, and then I was out.
What was the experience like for you being in that position? Because obviously you were around people that were in similar positions that maybe didn't fare out as well?
Correct. Yeah, I spiritually, it made me get closer, solidify my faith.
Right.
And it basically that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been close.
Kind
to
of a wake-up call.
Yeah, I've been close to death before, and I think my faith has been pretty strong. Ever since I made up my mind.
Sure.
To have faith.
Yes.
But it just solidified it more,
okay.
You know, basically.
That's wonderful. So it's ironic that, you know, such a terrible thing can bring actually good things, because I can recall you know, people in similar situations that have had similar stories, but I've heard people sort of push back and say, well, you know what, it wasn't that bad for me. I did okay. I mean, I bought a house, interest rates were lower. So I think it's a bittersweet thing.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, it is a blessing for a lot of people to have the testimony. Correct. That might be a blessing to others, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, take us back to your very beginning. You're an amazing percussionist.
Thank you, brother.
You're very sought after. You know, I've had the pleasure to work with you on a few occasions. And, you know, one of the things that I was attracted to is this, you know, your amazing pocket. So as a rhythm player, you know, you want wanted to bring something to the table that's going to make your job easier. And it's always been that way with you. But take us back. How did you get introduced to percussion?
Well, actually, I started off on drums at church.
Okay. 9
years old. I grew up in this area. I grew up in Solana Beach.
Right, right.
And also in Santa Maria, California. So I was drumming, you know, learning drums. And but a good friend, his name is Louis Beltran Cruz.
Okay. Sounds very familiar.
He is. He played with Gladys Knight, Shalimar. He's still playing to this day up in the LA area. So we went to the same church, but he was at a different town, different location, same organization. So he said, "You play like a percussionist," he told me, as a drummer.
Yeah.
So he started showing me some conga drums, bongos, and started timbal, and then how to play drums with him. And so, yeah, that's how we started. I've always had a different type of approach to drums. And he saw it, and he just kind of led me.
He kind of took you there,
through that path, yeah. So, and I sought after that. I just sought after other drummer, percussion players. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So started out as a drummer.
Yeah.
And then you segued into percussion.
Correct.
And what would you say the main influence would be in your art? In other words, there's some amazing percussionists that, you know, throughout history. And, you know, one that comes to mind is like Giovanni Hidalgo. But,
correct.
You know, so are you sort of influenced by him? And if so, who else might you be influenced by?
Well, my main influence for percussion is Ayrton
Okay.
Moreira.
Oh, right. Yeah, he did some work with Weather Report.
Yes, and he's just amazing. He's a amazing drummer, percussionist. He just does some amazing things, subtle things that you really have to pay attention to. And it's like you have your upbeat, your downbeat, and you have your in between. Well, he does stuff in between, like it's just amazing, and that's what catches my eye. Yeah. The reason why I'm sensitive to music is my parents, my mom and dad, when she was pregnant with me, and my aunt, they were a church item. They would go sing at all up and down California. From Frisco to Solana Beach to even to Tijuana. At the different churches. And now my mom was pregnant. My mom plays piano. So they were a trio. My mom played piano, and I was in. Yeah, that's why I'm so really sensitive. I grew up with it, and since in her womb.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think about the state of music today from the standpoint of, you know, Latin jazz?
I still feel that we don't get that much publicity. We get that much, I don't know, what's promoted or really, we don't get that much exposure. As in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
Sure. I think you're absolutely right about that. You know, there are different outlets for different types of music, or even within the jazz idiom itself. You know, we've got these different little pockets or little different facets of the music. But I typically, on a lot of radio stations, you know, for those of us that still listen to radio, we have our, you know, Friday night Latin jazz thing. So other than that, I have not noticed a lot of exposure. Can you think of anything else where maybe a radio station that might have a certain night or a certain spot for it? Can you think of other outlets other than that?
Not offhand, I'm sorry. Yeah, not offhand. Just your hour here and there from different, you know, I know LA has something, New York might have something, but in California here, but not really. It's just been sporadic. I know we had something in San Diego, but I'm not sure if it's still there. Do you think that in spite of that, that you feel like there's a lack of exposure to that, you know, a lack of emphasis on that? Do you feel that artists of that genre have more of a struggle? In other words, you yourself have been blessed because you have the stability of sort of a day job in addition to your art, but there may be some other cats who don't have that, and perhaps they might feel the effect of it more than you. Absolutely. There's some guys that don't have that the day gig, and then so yeah, it
makes it a little more difficult.
It is difficult for them. Yes.
Yeah. Would you say that as a percussionist in general, regardless of what style, it's more difficult to get gigs, or for people to fairly compensate you, maybe?
Yes, we're the first one, last one hired, first one fired.
Oh wow, that's not right. That's not right. Why do you think that is?
You know what? I have mixed feelings. I think perhaps I feel that we're the least appreciated. Among the I guess leaders and promoters but between the guys, I know they love us. You know,
it brings something that's very unique,
something special since the first day, since the first note.
Absolutely, it's definitely a unique blend of cultural experience that a lot of people can't get anywhere else. But having a wonderful percussionist like yourself, you know, in the ensemble. But with that said, I agree with you that, you know, just in general, like music in general, when the pandemic hit, everybody was getting some sort of a economic or stimulus type of relief.
Right.
You know, bailing out
Right.
the restaurants, but still making it that the musicians can't perform. You know, so the musicians felt the brunt of everything. And as a percussionist, I feel your pain. You know, as a drummer, and not really a percussionist per se, but I feel your pain. Because there may be types of music where they don't think that is quite as necessary. But if we are talking specifically about, you know, the Latin world, you know what I mean? That's the bread and butter of the music, right?
Correct. Correct. That's the bread and butter of that music, and it's yeah, you're absolutely right. If it's not there, then the famous word cheesy comes out. Comes out. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's the bread and butter of that music.
Who have you been working with lately? You know, in your, you know, circles or your travels, you know, because we know a lot of people are starting to get a lot of work. Things are picking up to a certain extent. Have you been sort of working with somebody in particular?
Well, I have my own band now.
Yeah, okay, tell us about it.
So right now it's with Grammy winner James Felix.
Okay, the vocalist?
Former lead singer with Tower of Power.
Okay, beautiful.
And he was with legendary Andre Crouch. And just a number of people, Sweet Comfort Band. I guess he played with a bunch of people. And now we call each other compadres. You know, we're just super close. And he's a great guy, great person.
So you guys are in a project together?
Yeah, he's in my band right now.
Nice.
And we'll do projects. We'll do stuff together with his lovely wife Delaney.
Okay.
And
does she sing as well?
She sings as well.
Okay.
Amazing vocalist.
I bet some nice harmonies going on there.
Oh my God. And we had Jason Weber with our last gig.
Right.
He can't be with us this next one on the 26th, but we're gonna have somebody else.
Okay.
But the main one is Glenn Meyerkoff. That's the main.
Glenn's a sax player.
Sax player.
Yes, I've worked with him, like, you know, years ago, like decades ago. But yeah, awesome.
So right now we're doing it's just dance music. It's what they call oldie classics, but with Latin influence. We do R&B with Latin influence. So that's what we're mixing right now.
Okay.
And it's fun, and people like to dance, and it's fun.
Sure.
It's a fun beat. It's fun, and you can put some Latin influences there. You know, not as heavy on the clave or a kata rhythm, but you can still, you know, there's still a pilon rhythm on the cowbells.
Right.
You know, just kind of make it nice blend. Not too long, just enough, just to give it some little bit of spice. You know, on your taco. You know.
There you go. Got to have a little kick, right?
Yeah, just a little kick. That's all. It's just nice, just something tasty.
Okay.
So that's what that's what I like to do.
Okay. What do you think the music needs today, and what does it need to get where you think it should be going?
The lyrics.
Okay. More of an emphasis on lyrics?
Yeah, I believe the lyrics have been convoluted.
Okay.
You know, lately.
Okay.
So
how much do you sing yourself?
Well, I do background.
Okay.
Just some background.
Okay.
Not too much lead.
Okay.
I don't lead at all.
Okay.
But I do some background. Started venturing into that.
Sure. Okay.
If there's a song that needs to roll their R's, I'll jump in there and roll the R's.
Nice. Nice. Do you have students?
I have one student that, but we're so much friends. It's not like a student type of deal.
Okay.
Where he's a good friend of mine. He's ex-sheriff.
Okay.
And just a great guy, and he loves it. I was supposed to give his son lessons, but his son, at the day of the lesson, he hurt his wrist. He fell and he hurt his wrist. So, well, what about you? As we started talking, he happened to be in Santa Maria. Grew up in Santa Maria, where I grew up. So, wow, we hit it off, and we're friends to this day.
Okay, awesome.
Really nice, but not too many students. So once in a while, guys come in and out, and I give them a couple lessons, and they're set free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Piki, when you're actually performing on stage, let's say that you are in a new situation, you get a call and you have to go to a different city and, you know, maybe cats that you don't know. What do you typically listen to? What do you key in the most? Are you listening to the bass? Are you listening to the drums? Are you listening to the keys, the vocals, or the horn? What do you lock into as a percussionist?
I lock into the bass and the drums.
Okay.
Right away. I try to get the set list or something like that, you know, some of the songs. Then I go over it and just refresh. And then I lock into the drums and the bass.
Okay.
So that's what I do. I'll counter rhythm, or I'll share the rhythm to a certain extent, and then I'll do a counter rhythm and then come back, or
give them some space.
Give them some space, yeah, because
less is more, right?
Yeah, less is more. Well, most of the time, less is more.
Okay, so if the bass player is busy, you hold back a little bit.
Just hold back.
Okay.
Just hold back just a little bit.
Okay.
Just enough to keep a good groove, a good pocket. You know, that's the main thing.
Okay. Well, again, let me emphasize. I've always enjoyed the times that we've had a chance to work together, and we've done some recording, and I've always particularly keyed into our ability to have a conversation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'll say something and you'll say something, just sort of like we're doing now.
Correct.
But we're doing it and speaking in our other language, our musical language, rhythmically.
Correct. Yes.
And so would you agree that that's the best way to do it?
I do agree. That's the best way to do it. Just have a language and talk. As a matter of fact, Cubans, they say habla. Habla.
Okay.
When they're habla means talk.
Yeah.
You know, let's talk. So it is a language, and as soon as you understand that, you can connect the dots better, and it's just great, and it feels so good. And you know, people that are not musicians, they, like my wife, she says, what is it? What is it? It's the language, and we're talking and we're having a conversation. The audience is having fun. They're dancing. They're tapping. They're on the table. They're tapping their foot. They're having a good time. They're moving.
That's a good sign, right?
That's a good sign. People in wheelchairs. If you see people, it's just amazing. It's great. Older people dancing, hugging, kissing. It's just great. It just feels so good.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely fulfills the heart, right? You feel like, okay, people do connect, and I guess what we're doing, it means something to some people out there.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think that is ultimately a good goal, right?
Yes.
Piki, what's next for you? So you know we've got your. What's the name of your band, by the way?
My name of the band is Smooth Groove.
Okay.
And you know, we're playing on the 26th of March at Kimball Coastal Eatery.
Oh, wow.
In National City.
It's a nice place.
It used to be called Goodies.
Okay.
It's a very nice place. They fixed it up. It's very nice. People are great there. And it gives us a chance to reconnect with our community. So, and I'm looking at some things in LA, Pomona, Paris, California, different places, Long Beach.
Okay.
We're looking to some of those venues there.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, well, everyone will definitely be looking for you to be there. Put that on our calendars. Musically speaking, everybody sort of has their influences or heroes, and you've talked about yours, and that's a wonderful thing to sort of aspire to. But you know, where do you think he got his inspiration?
I believe he got his inspiration from being out in the jungle.
Okay.
He speaks about that. He speaks about being out as a child. He would listen to birds. He would listen to some animals in the far distance roaring or chattering. He would listen to birds chatter. He'd listen to the wind flowing through the leaves and getting the rush of the leaves sounds. And that's how I hear.
Okay, so your inspiration is similar.
It's similar, and the other inspiration is that I could only hear out of one ear.
Okay.
You know, I had a mastectomy when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
I guess medicine wasn't that back then.
Okay.
I guess the antibiotics or whatever, but so they ripped out my mastoid.
Okay.
So basically, I could hear out of one ear, and it's incredible how God lets me.
You made up the difference with the other ear.
Yeah.
That is amazing how that works. When people that are their senses are impaired in one way, you know, let's take the Stevie Wonders of the world.
Correct.
You know, they maybe lose sight, or their sight is impaired, but they make up for it with their hearing, and just like on steroids, right?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I can understand that.
So that's basically how that's me.
Okay. All right. So we know you've got a few students out there you've worked with over the years. But what would you say to someone up and coming, wants to be a percussionist, a wonderful percussionist like yourself, have your wonderful pocket? What's the secret to that?
Oh my God. The love.
Okay.
The love of the music.
Okay.
That's your secret. That's
All right.
that's I believe I developed it in my mom's womb.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean you can develop it later in life, And that's just the way it happened for me.
Okay.
But the love of the music, I guess that's the main thing. If you love what somebody's singing, and you try to, because we accompany, actually, we're not out front.
Mm-hmm.
We accompany the singer or the sax or the guitar, whoever's in front. So it's our job to set a foundation for them so that they can sing and or perform, and that foundation is key.
Beautifully put, Piki. Piki, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Blessings to you.
Thank you, sir.
And good luck with
God
your
bless.
percussion.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.